Hey guys, it's Spaces Sins, and we are back with more My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. Pirates of the Disturbance, because we're starting a new route, so we gotta do that. My brain for a second was like, what the hell is the long ass title of this game? Anyway, we are starting Alan's route today, so I've loaded up our common route save that I made just so we don't have to skip through the prologue, and we are going to skip through. I just want to see something though. I want to check. I don't think exciting promise first. I just want to make sure because the memory scenarios, I want to make sure that when we start skipping them, that because it's not gonna stop at them. I want to make sure we don't miss them. But exciting promise and first dance lesson are the ones in chapter 1. Okay. Our time together. Okay, there is one in chapter 2. That is for... Okay, so we'll just have to hopefully try to stop it. Yeah. There is one in chapter 2. It never stops at those, but anyway. We'll have to try to remember to stop it when we get to that point. But let's eat delicious food. Because, like, it doesn't stop when there's a memory scenario. Like, do you want to read and then you could keep skipping? It just lets it skip, so, like... And it's not there enough for me to, like, click quickly. Stop it if I see it pop up. I'll try to pay attention and, like... The first ones that we hit, like these ones... But see what I mean? I would have been like, oh, and I would have missed it. But it's okay. We can read them at the end if we have to. Enjoy the music. Woo! Look, we got little hearts and flowers around. What wonderful music. The ceremony's exhilarating. I listen to the music while leaning over the railing, and Alan comes to stand next to me. That's true, because he's our musical prodigy, isn't he? I can feel how much the music moves him. I'd expect no less of this musical prodigy. There's the answer to that one. Good for me. This music is incredible. It really is. Alan taps his fingers on the railing as if he wants to join the performance. I wonder if Alan can perform somewhere on the ship. It's a luxury liner. Surely there's another piano or two around here somewhere. My thoughts drift, imagining Alan's live performance as we listen to the music. I listen with closed eyes, but feel someone tap me from behind. Come on, sister. Take a look at the ceremony. Okay, so now we're... Okay. I figure when they introduce someone else that, perchance, you know, that's when we can skip. And like dead silent because I have like nothing to say. Like, we're just getting used to this shit. Okay, here's our pool date with our friends. All the boys being awkward. It's so funny because when I first came in, I'm like, oh, okay, it's Alan's route next. And my brain put Nickel in my head and I was like, oh. I feel bad for our cardboard boyfriend. I really do. Oh, I shouldn't make fun of him so much. It's because the second he blinks or smiles or does anything that's not cardboard, his charm comes on and everybody swoons and fawns and faints. So, like, I get it. I'm teasing him. So, anyway, we do a warm-up stretch, which we've already done. So, there we go. Oh, right. We did that in the common route. It made Alan all anxious and, oh, he's all blushy. It's adorable because he's our robot. We've never had a cardboard cutout as a character before, so that's a new one. I like it. I'm sure Nickel's route's going to be actually pretty interesting and good. You know what I mean? I just like teasing him. Oh, there we go. Getting hungry. Sneaking out. Nick sneaking out. Gonna meet Rosie. Oh. Cover it up. I'm assuming come clean is Rosie's answer. Cover it up. Pretend I'm not hungry. Talk about gummies. Oh, look at him blushing. He's beautiful. I love him. Gotta be honest, Rozzy and Silva are my favorites. Although, out of our original 4, Keith and Alan, they're the ones that, like, because Alan is absolutely, like, slap glasses on him and he's everything. You know what I mean? Let's see. I'm going to assume it's either an escort or hum as I go. Oh, yeah, it's hum as I go. Okay, yeah, that's right there. Right, because music makes sense. Even if you don't look it, you're still a noble woman. You shouldn't sing while walking. I was humming as my mind drifts to the promise of dinner, but Alan brings me back to reality with an exasperated look. I can't help it. This is the first time I've ever experienced quid cuisine. That may be true, but the tune... Oh, did you notice? It's the same one you played at the graduation party, Prince Alan. I've grown fond of that melody and find myself singing it all the time. Oh, this boy is gonna die. We just killed him. He's like, if I wasn't in love with you already, I'd be dead right now. When I tell Alan that, he turns red and laughs bashfully. Aww, look at his adorable little blushy awkward face. It's so cute. I see. If you like it that much, I'd be happy to play it for you again. Oh, I'd love to listen as well. What do you think, Lady Katerina? It's funny because Mary ain't jumping in here like, this is my fiance. She's like, don't talk to Katerina like that. She's mine. She's more defensive about Alan and I being alone together, not because bitch stay away from my man. She's literally bitch stay away from Katerina to Alan, and that's kind of fucking funny. It's also kind of fun that we get to steal her fiance. Well, breaking the heart of ours. We had to break the heart of our fiance the last time to date our brother. But now we're going to break his heart to marry his brother, who we stole away from one of our friends. But everyone's going to be cool with it. That's the funniest part of this game. Everyone loves us so much, we're just breaking up everybody for our own gain, and, like, everyone's, like, cool about it. Alright. Yeah, it'd be great if Prince Alan could have a recital on board the ship, too. Yeah. I won't allow you to get ahead of me. What are you talking about? Why, nothing at all. If you haven't realized, then it's fine. I watch Mary whisper something to Alan and then smile widely. Yeah, she's... she's like, you're not going to take her from me. She's fighting with her fiancé over me, and he has no clue. I love it. Although these two are engaged, they don't really seem lovey-dovey to me, but they do seem close, like siblings. We continue our lively chat on the way to the party hall. There's nothing to be afraid of as long as I'm with my friends. The friendship route that we got the first time around was really Our Lady Harem, but they didn't want to, like, get too in-depth in it, so... I can't have a man harem, but I can have a lady harem? Really? Rude. Of course they didn't. They're like, nope, it's your friendship route. Sure it is. And we were all roommates. Just me and my 3 lady friends. Hey. We're gonna Golden Girls this shit up, but there's also gonna be lesbian antics in there, I'm sure. I wouldn't mind Golden Girling it up. Not with the lesbian antics, but you know what I mean? Just Alright, yeah, and that memory scenario was the dance with Jordo, so that doesn't matter. Been there, done that. Oh! There he is as a way. You know, the weirdest thing is I don't remember when we played the common route the first time around, or even Jordo's route, Silva showing up as a waiter. Why the hell does my brain not... Did that not happen? I feel like it should have, but I just don't remember it. It's like I totally blocked it out of my brain. Did I not realize he was the... I mean, we snuck into the kitchen for food. Maybe that was the difference. Because I know we snuck into the kitchen and I haven't seen that skip through. And we see the purple eye or whatever, like, we see the glowing, and, like, okay. But, like, I don't remember... I remember him from the last route, from... Keith's route in this, but I, like, for some reason, every time he pops up, I'm like, I don't remember seeing you in Jordo's route in this section. I mean, this is the common route. You should have always been there, but why the first 2 times we played did I not? Or I just don't remember that I registered it. Someone will tell me. One of you guys will let me know. Anyway, We should, yeah, go for the fish. Don't ask Nickel because we're not trying to date him, okay? We ain't trying to date you! Not yet! Then we're gonna have so much fun with our cardboard cutout boyfriend. Again, I feel bad for him because, like, I know why he can't turn on the charm. And he's gonna turn on the charm and absolutely, like, his route's gonna be like, my god, I'm impressed. Alan's performance. I think Alan's performance was wonderful. Look at her blushing. Even performing with an orchestra, he still stands out. Actually, I thought he was the most skilled among them. And Alan himself seemed to enjoy playing the music. That joy was quick to spread to the audience, myself included. I didn't get to talk to him much today, so I'll tell him that tomorrow. Either way, I want to eat my fill of that feast tomorrow. I didn't get to eat until I was satisfied today. Me every day trying to, like, not gain 70 pounds a day. I was so preoccupied with how Keith was acting, I completely forgot to eat. I get so preoccupied with work, I completely forget to eat sometimes. Or you're, like, not really hungry, so you don't eat your brunch. Am I the only one that does? I don't... I know I'm a night snacker. So, like... See, I remember this, and then her going here and that this is Silva. Like, I remember that, but I just don't remember him being the waiter at the party the first 2 times we played this game. Like, anyway. I know I eat more at night, especially, like, if I'm sitting there watching TV. Say I'm hungry. But if I eat normally during the day, then I'll overeat at night, you know what I mean? So I kind of push it off. Don't ask. So I'll have my protein coffee in the morning, and then if I'm hot, like, I'll try to, like, eat, like, quote unquote breakfast. It's usually like a protein muffin or like protein oatmeal or like whatever. It turned out okay. Hold on. But Alan's also an attractive prince. It shouldn't matter much, even if I did steal a line or two from him. He's also a great musician and kind, if a little blunt. I'm sure one missed line hasn't changed his charm. Oh my, I didn't know that Quid had plants like these. Okay. And they're gonna ask. He's a conceited type. Weird, didn't we say... It's like the game didn't register that we've... Oh, you know why. Because we started... No? Well, that's weird. It's not registering the sadist type, which is what we chose for Jordo, right? It's like not registering we chose that. Oh, anyway. Maybe like a haughty tough guy. That makes more sense than conceited. I imagine the game version of Alan as I say that, and Sophia's eyes sparkle. Well, I guess, but like... Oh my, how wonderful! Like a love story between a charismatic swashbuckler and a noble lady. It's a quintessential romance. Thank goodness there's no one like that here. Oh, right. Our Alan doesn't really fit that description. He's kind and laughs with us often, but he's still quiet, slightly robotic. Obviously, I can't point him out. The topic shifts as we depart from the library. Oh, never mind. We're still... Okay. Okay, no. Now we go to the... Oh, yeah, here's our conceited jackass type right there. There's no one like that. The douchey type is absolute... Well, we didn't say the douche type, so... But yeah, so I'll eat, like, I eat at a brunch. Like, try to get it, like, 11 or 11:30, so then I can push my lunch a little later. Because, like, after work, I like to record, right? And I don't want to, like... stop, go down, get something to eat, and then come back. Like, once I'm, like, sat down, eat dinner, like, I'm done for the day. Like, I have to rewire myself, you know what I mean? It's just, like, the pattern you get into, and you're like, it's a habit, it's my routine. So, like, if I eat my lunch later in the day, then I record, and then when I'm done recording, then I'm not starving while I'm recording, you know, and then I can get more done. And then I eat my dinner a little bit later than normal. and then I don't, like, want to snack as much. So, that all came stemming from her talking about food, but whatever. Anyway, huh? I find myself completely lost as I try to make my way back to the party. I wander around until I find myself at the gallery lounge. Oh. I notice no one's here as I look around. Suppose I won't be able to ask for directions. It stopped skipping, so. Did a lot of walking. Maybe I can rest here for a while. I'm certain that I'll have lots of socializing to do when I return to the party room, so maybe it's better for me to rest a little. So this is like, and then the pirates are going to kidnap everyone. Phew! I plop myself onto a chair and my eyelids begin to grow heavy. Come to think of it, I didn't get to sleep much today, and I woke up early. Oh no, I can't keep my eyes open. The soft, smooth sofa looks enticing. I can feel my consciousness fading. The party's food. So delicious. I wonder what tomorrow's breakfast could be. Then she talks about food and it makes me want food. I didn't have my brunch today though, so it's like lunchtime right now. And I'm like, yeah, we probably should have eaten, but during my lunch break from work I like to record while I can. Snoring. I can't take it anymore. My eyelids cling shut. Suddenly, someone grabs my shoulders. Are you serious? Don't sleep here! Croissants, butter rolls, a loaf of bread. Those all sound delicious. Hey, you dumb rich girl! Wake up! Where's my croissant? What are you blabbering about? We're in the gallery lounge right now. What? Huh? Prince Alan? What are you doing here? It asked the same of you. You hadn't returned to the party for some time, so I came looking for you. Aw, he's mad at us, but it's adorable. Well then, I'm sorry for the trouble. He must have been really worried if he snuck out of the party to look for me. Maybe during this conversation, the memory scenario will pop up, and that'll be perfect. I get up to hurry on back to the venue. Here. Seeing Alan offer me his hand made me realize it's been a while since we've spoken alone like this. You know, I'm so in her head and she talks about food so fucking much that 2 minutes into this, he's like, here. And I'm like, did he bring us cookies? No, he's just offering his hand. Oh. You know, in any other game, I'd be like, oh, he's going to hold our hand, walk us back. And it's like, this one, I'm like, oh, you didn't bring me like a croissant or like a cookie? Really? Like, do you not know who we are right now, Alan? It's really easy to get in her head, you know? I'm always with everyone. It's the same back at the academy, and even now on the ship. I'm always doing something with someone. And since boarding this ship, Prince Alan has been busy fulfilling his duties. On the first day, we were busy paying our respects to everyone. Oh my word, I still haven't told him how I felt about his recital the other day. Alan played the violin on the first day. I wanted to give him my feedback, but it had slipped my mind until now. There were a lot of people to greet on the first day. Then there were the speeches, and I got distracted by the food. Then there was Keith. Even today, I was too busy touring the boat and enjoying the feasts. I totally forgot to tell him. That's right, Prince Alan. I know some time has passed since the first day, but your performance that day was wonderful. As I tell him how I feel, Alan looks confused for a moment. His face turns slightly red. Look at his little smile. He's so precious. Oh, yeah? Yeah, your performance was amazing as always. I wish I heard more. The performance at the party was exclusive, so he didn't perform many songs. There's a piano right there is all I'm saying, and it doesn't seem like anybody's here. We could have a little private concert. How romantic. Maybe they were trying not to make a noble like Alan perform too much. And perhaps they considered how nervous the other performers might have been too. However, Alan is known as a music prodigy, so his performance was wonderful. If only I could hear it again. Your violin sounds so beautiful and dreamy, and your piano too. I wish I could hear you play the piano on the ship. Because at first when she said violin, I was like, okay, but piano, right there! Well, I guess I could play for you now. There's a piano here. Good boy. Because I'm like, you cannot do this. Oh, well, too bad there's no piano when there's a fucking piano behind you. Oh, are you sure? Oh, I love this. You asked for it, didn't you? Did I say that out loud again? I thought I kept it to myself, so I'm surprised. But if this is going to allow me to listen to him play, I'll take it. I'd love to listen. Okay. He looks like, okay! The way his mouth was moving. I lean forward as I nod. I could see a small blush forming as Alan sits down on the piano chair, looking a little embarrassed. So glad they didn't let this go to waste. Oh, and now we get a CG! Alan puts his hands on the keys and begins to play. You know what I didn't notice pop up when we were skipping through? Like the flip, when we were in Keith's route, we flipped to Alan's perspective at one point and he was thinking about us. I don't see that as we were skipping through, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. But it's just interesting that whatever choice we made in Keith's route gave us that, but we didn't get it in Alan's. We were not technically in Alan's route, but or maybe we were in Keith's actual chapters when that happened. I don't remember, but it's just interesting. Anyway, I thought it was during the common portion. I'm instantly drawn into the music. It's precious. Alan looks serious as his brooding gaze drifts across the piano keys. He plays delicate melodies that move my heart. Alan's always amazing when he performs. They call him a music prodigy in Sorcier for a reason. Many people are fans of Alan's performances. He receives high praise at the Academy and in our social circles. Unaware of his talents as a child, Alan had always seen himself as inferior to Jordo. But he doesn't seem to feel that way anymore. I'm glad, because then I wouldn't be able to listen to his performance like this. As always, you're amazing, Prince Alan. I'm so happy I got to listen. Oh, right. Well, it's alright, I guess. What? You don't hear performances like that every day. I mean, I could never play like that. You're amazing, Prince Alan. It'd be so much more romantic if we just sat next to play. She's not suave enough to do that right now, to be fair. And she doesn't realize that her just being earnest and oh, I just want to hear you play. It's so great and wonderful is he's like, oh my god, are you flirting with me? She doesn't realize she kind of is. She's also just being nice and genuine. But you're crushing this man's heart because he's like, oh god, she's squeezing my heart. Not in a bad way, you know. Well, I thought your performance wasn't too bad. What? Really? No, but my grade in music is barely average. My teacher always says, I like your enthusiasm, but honestly, I'm nowhere close to being good. And I always suffer during tests. Oh, yeah, I remember you helped me practice the piano for my class. Oh, right. You didn't pass piano, so you had to take the test again, huh? Oh, look at his adorable face. Memory scenario, yay. Perfect. I've got time to spare. An average school day. I had the afternoon free, so I sat alone in my room, staring out the window and wondering what to do. Since joining the student council, I was pretty busy balancing those duties, my obligations as a royal, and my studies. But here and there I got a moment of peace. I felt the urge to play something. Usually I would sit down at the piano, but the sky that day was crisp and clear. It felt like a waste to spend it indoors. I could play some violin out in the sun. I thought it would be nice to find a secluded spot, maybe a hidden corner of the garden. Could you just imagine a beautiful spring day and you're out in this beautiful garden and you just hear beautiful fucking violin music because some beautiful fucking man with beautiful talent is just hiding behind a tree playing? What the fuck kind of fantasy novel are we living in? Obviously, we're living in an Otome game, but that scenario right there is swoon-worthy, okay? Jesus! That's the most romantic scenario we've gotten in this game. I just want and you have a flowy skirt. Not a big, poofy, heavy skirt, but one with lots of flowy, layers. Sheer, flowy, gauzy layers. Ah! Your long hair and ringlets with flowers woven in it. Like you're a fairy princess. I have not eaten very much today, so apparently I'm not on anything. I'm literally riding a blood sugar low right now. It's more fun though, isn't it? And just thinking about it felt refreshing. I grabbed my violin case and headed for the door. I was searching for a good place when I noticed someone approaching me. An arena. It's Alan! She ran to me, smile beaming. Running's not very ladylike. Hey, I teased her before I could think about it, looking over her as she came close. She was coming from the flower beds, which meant you were working on your fields? Yeah, I just finished for the day. What are you up to, Prince Alan? The sun's out, so I figured I'd play some violin outside. I lifted the case in my hand and she gasped. Violin? She looked shocked for some reason. Given her usual reaction, I thought she'd be excited, the glimmering eyes and all. Instead, she looked almost scared, her eyes wide and cheeks pale. It's obviously something that is a doom flag. That's not a very Katarina-like expression. She was as hard to read as ever. As I wondered, she spoke up timidly. May I tag along? I don't mind, but... Thank you very much! The tension drained from her face. It was very noticeable. Just how much did she want to hear me play, I wondered. But maybe I'm wrong, considering her expression earlier. Maybe it was okay to feel a little conceited about that. I'm just practicing. I said that and turned away, feeling a little embarrassed. Right, sounds good, she responded. Searching for a place to play, we ventured through the garden. As I thought, Katerina looked a little meek as she walked beside me. Eventually, we found a bench in a remote corner and decided it was a good place to stop. How about here? Sure! She turned to me as she sat down, her face glowing. Maybe it was all in my head. It's rare to find her without Jordo and the others. She was usually surrounded by friends. When I realized we were alone together, my heart started to race. With a deep breath, I let that feeling guide my hands to the violin strings. It truly did feel nice, playing freely under the blue sky. I let the melody flow naturally for a while. After I settled into the song, I glanced over at Katerina. Nodding and grunting in thought, she didn't seem to be listening. Wondering if she had a critique, I halted my performance. Katerina, what is it? Huh? What do you mean? I heard you grunting a bit. Was there something off in my playing? Oh no, your performance was stellar as ever. Sorry, I was just doing image training. Huh? What does that mean? Oh, you see, kind of hard to say this, but I kind of failed piano class. So I have to take a retest. I remembered all about it the moment I saw you. That explains the shocked face. With a better understanding of what was going on, I felt both relief and concern as I looked over her. I really thought it was like, oh my god, you're going out to play and it's a doom flag. No, okay, she was just freaked out about her test. Cute. So when is the retest? It's tomorrow. Huh? That's why the image training is so important. You can't be serious. Is just image training really gonna be okay? I question how she planned to get away with that if the test was the next day. I thought she could play pretty well when we were kids. Then I realized I hadn't heard her play the piano since then. I suppose Lady Clay's bids for musical education failed to take hold. Even if Katerina could still play, the tests were far from easy. It might have been too much for her. It'd be one thing if she'd been practicing, but she only just remembered today. Not to mention it's image training. She was impressive as ever. Impressively incomprehensible. I love that she's impressive as ever. Impressively incomprehensible. Oh. Impressively hungry. But after hearing all that, I couldn't just sit by. I moved to put the violin away. Huh? You're not going to play anymore? And Katerina looked troubled, her image training aid suddenly gone. And normally, wouldn't you take that as a cue to go practice yourself? As usual, she was entirely unpredictable. Her train of thought made no sense. I feel like that is literally everyone sometimes. Like, especially if you have a very active imagination or your mind wanders a lot. Like a toddler you left alone. You know what I mean? I guess maybe some people don't do that, but like, that's why I think that's why I identify with Katerina. Like, She's always off in her own little bubble thinking of weird shit, and then she says things and people are like, what? Part of it is she comes from a different world and she has a different life experience, you know what I mean? That these people have no clue about. And part of it is just, she's just off in her own little bubble. But it's very Scrubs-like. If you ever watched Scrubs, that's why I love that show so much, because I'm like, okay, it's not abnormal totally to do JD style fucking like where all of a sudden someone says something and then you're just in your head off in this fantasy world and people are like, are you paying attention? And you're like, and your brain just spews out something weird, or you think it and you're like, yeah, no, totally. What? Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that does that. Because, you know, without asking someone, does your brain just wander around and you come up with weird ass scenarios? Or like, I mean, everybody has that. You're in the shower or you're whatever, and all of a sudden you think of a comeback for a joke or for something someone said 3 years ago, and you're like, man, why couldn't I come up with that 3 years ago? We all have those moments, but it's that, like, no. Someone says something about lunch, and then you're over here, and somehow you're Batman in your brain. You know what I mean? And you have no idea how you got there. You're like, yeah, I was just thinking about how weird it would be to be Batman. And they're like, the fuck? You know? Me? Just me? I know it's not just me. Because they wrote it into Scrubs. So, like, it's obvious there's at least dozens of us that do this. Like, that's basically Katarina half the time. And they're like, she's completely unpredictable. No, she's just got a vivid fucking imagination. And the hamster in her brain wheel is churning out constantly. It just won't stop. You know? Like, it seems illogical to some people, but it's fully logical to some of us that live in brains like this. I don't know. It probably says a lot about my brain that I don't want to know, but anyway. Absolutely, her train of thought makes total sense. In her brain. Not to normal people, but to some of us, it's like, no, yeah, I get it. It makes no sense, while making complete sense. I sighed, placed the violin back into its case, and turned back to face Katarina. I don't have much going on today. I could help you with piano practice. What? Really? Katarina leapt to her feet, eyes ashine. Her earnest excitement made my cheeks turn hot. That said, I'm gonna be strict. This is for your retest, after all. I said that to hide my embarrassment, but Katarina looked too pleased to notice. Thank you! Honestly, happy to hear she was depending on me. Although a shame about the violin, this wasn't a bad way to spend the day. Or so I thought. Until I heard her play. And then I saw just how serious an affair it was going to be. Because we suck at it. It'd be like me playing the piano. Anyway. Yes, you didn't pass piano, so you had to retake the test again. Yep. Oof! Exactly. I remember Alan was at a loss for words when he heard my performance. Thank you so much for that, by the way. With your help, I managed to pass my retake. I didn't do much, though. Don't be so humble. If you didn't help me, then I'm sure I would have failed my re-examination. As a child, I used to practice often, but after entering the academy, I started skipping lessons and my piano skills got rusty. So Alan's training truly helped me out. Prince Alan, if you're ever in a bind, please let me know. However, I don't think I possess any skills that could be of use to you. If you ever want to plant flowers and you don't want to dig holes, I can boop, 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 bump up little hills of earth. I can do that. Useful. And if you want someone to, if you're in love with me and want to romance me, I'm useful for that. That's about it, though. Or if you can't finish your sandwich, I will. I got lots of uses. Like a Swiss Army knife over here with all the utility I can give. I mean, a rusty one, and some of the tools don't come out fully, and I'm not the sharpest one, but it's fine. I got some use. Ellen always helps me with the music. Maria always helps me study. When it comes to magic, everyone's much more skilled than I am. Keith always helps me with homework. I'm reliant on everyone. When it comes to tree climbing or farming, I'm confident I could teach anyone, but these aren't practical skills in a noble society. I continue muttering to myself and then look up. That's true! We're also good at tree climbing. If your cat ever gets stuck in a tree or something, I can get up there and get it, no probs. I see Ellen standing there looking at me dumbfounded. Oops. Oh no, I hope I didn't sound sarcastic when making those comments. I didn't mean to diminish his talents. Well, I understand that your performance is a culmination of your hard work, Prince Alan. Your hard work is amazing. What are you babbling on about? There are many things only you could do. Oh my god. If I didn't like you before, I'm in love with you now. Because there's really not a lot she can do. Let's be fair. I'm in her head, so I'm like, I'm kind of rusty Swiss Army knife. I got some use, but not a lot. But then he's over here like, there's so many things only you are capable of doing. Oh, we all need that kind of support in our lives. Take it from Alan. There are many things only you do. He's sweet saying that to all of us. What? Only I could do? Not always useful, but true. I can only think of tree climbing and farming. I don't think those skills are very useful, but maybe it could be useful to someone in the future. Come to think of it, my first competition with Alan was tree climbing. Is that what he's referring to? I was nicknamed Wild Monkey in my previous life for a reason. My skills from that life haven't dulled one bit. So, does that mean Alan actually wants to climb trees still? Maybe he's being modest and doesn't want to say anything. I can see him relaxing on top of a tree. I can still see that CG with Keith hanging out in the tree, and it's beautiful. I mean, feeling the breeze on top of a tree does feel good. Maybe Alan wants to learn. Okay, this is our romance then. Okay, we're going to climb up the tree. I'll climb up. I'll get your violin case up. You climb up the tree. And then you're just going to lounge against the tree branch, like lounging on a tree branch up against the trunk of the tree, playing your violin while I sit in another. And it's going to be with my flowy, gauzy skirt. You got it, right? You get the image in your head. There you go. We're not going to get that CG, but that's what I want in my life. So I'm just going to imagine it. Wait, did I read that? Okay. Oh, there it is. I'd love to teach him now, but there isn't a tree to climb on the ship. Maybe we could climb the ship's mast. No, that leads to us drowning. I'd love to... Oh, no, that's the one that was just... I mean... Oh, no, okay. Alan wants to learn. Okay, I did read that. Never mind. Okay. No, we'd be in big trouble if we were caught. If only we had a tree at the academy. Mother would be furious with me, but... See, and this is it! She's got all this thought process. Blah, 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 climbing trees, blah, blah, blah. Thinking, and then she comes out with this, and he's like, the fuck? That's what I'm talking about. That's a very Scrubs thing, right? Again, if you've ever seen Scrubs, where all of a sudden someone says something, there's a lot of things only you can do, and somehow you get to tree climbing and this, and you're like, I think we get caught and probably get in trouble. And he's like, the hell? Because he's not in your head as your train of thought wildly swings from things only I can do. We used to climb trees when we were little. Maybe we could climb trees. We don't have one here. We have the mast. We can climb the mast. And then you say out loud that you could get in trouble. Like, he's not there for that whole thought process. So everybody thinks you're weird. Hey, Katarina, what are you muttering about? A climbable tree? Climbable tree? Where else could I find one? You're lost in your weird thoughts again. I bet you don't even realize you do this. Huh? I thought I heard a laugh and look up to find Alan smiling. He's usually a little standoffish, so it's very rare to see him smiling like this. When Alan notices me staring, he awkwardly lets out a cough and places his hands back on the piano keys. Anyway, you want to hear more? Really? I'd love to. Oh, but don't you think we should return to the party soon? No, let's get kidnapped by pirates together. Alan's from the royal family, so I'm sure he has to greet some important people. It's probably not a good idea to stay away for so long. But compared to yesterday, there are much fewer people at the party today. Well, I've already greeted everyone I needed to, so I'm sure it's fine to stay here a bit longer. You want to listen, right, Katarina? He's like, stay, I don't want to go, and I just want to stay here alone with you, playing the piano for you. Woo! Hot. Yes, of course! I nod cheerfully. Alan looks a little happy as he runs his fingers along the piano keys once more. And we're back to this CG. Oh, look at his little happy thing. Does he look happier in this? Did he have this little kind of grin on his face the first time we got the CG? Huh. I'm instantly drawn into his music. I sigh in admiration. Wow, Amazing as always. Hey, wait. I feel like I've heard this song before. Feels a bit nostalgic, but where did I hear it? The tip of my tongue. I still can't remember. I perk my head up in confusion, but Alan continues to play the piano so beautifully that I am instead held captive by his music. Oh, now we're Alan. Knew it. She doesn't seem to remember where this song is from. As I play the piano, I look over at Katerina happily listening to me from the corner of my eye. And Katerina and I used to compete with one another with this song. And Katerina is the type of person to forget things easily. I figured that even if I were to continue playing this song, she wouldn't remember. But it looks like you do remember hearing it. From the way she perked her head up, I can tell. It also makes me laugh how obvious her facial expressions are. As my fingertips glide across the piano keys, I recall the first time I played this song in front of Katerina. Back then, I never would have imagined that I would gain a talent for music. My performance was average at best, and I thought I was never going to be even half as good as Jordo. And yet, everyone cheered for me. I thought they were only flattering me to gain favor, so I never accepted their compliments. It was all thanks to Katerina that I began to I believe I may actually be good at something. Katerina Clay's the woman who I have feelings for. My forbidden feelings. I mean, obviously, duh, we know, but about my forbidden feelings. I feel like Keith should be the one with the forbidden feelings, but it is also you're engaged, and the woman you're in love with is engaged to your brother. She's kind of your sister-in-law. So I mean, I get that's sort of forbidden in a way. Not quite as forbidden as Keith and his sister. Even if I'm only adopted. Well, he's adopted. Yeah, I'm his adoptive sister, I guess. Whatever. I met her when I was about 9 years old. Flashback. I get baby sprites now. And that day, an irritated 9-year-old me was waiting in the living room of the Clay's family residence. I'm enraged. I'm engaged to marry. I'm enraged. I'm engaged to Mary Hunt, but every time we were together, all she would do is talk about Katerina. And not only that, but whenever I would invite her over, she would deny me because she had plans with Katerina. Just who is this girl? Katerina Clays. That's right. And again, I only watched the first 4 parts of the anime, like when they were kids. I didn't watch the rest of it. But it gives you at least enough backstory. But like Alan being pissed off because, like, we saw in the beginning of this game where Katerina's like, I told Mary she had a green thumb, and that was what Alan said to her, and now she's all in love with me instead of Alan. And then Alan's like, what the fuck? Gets all pissed and hates Katerina at first. And like, I don't know, I'm sure they'll go into it, but like, yes, Alan used to try to compete against us in like tree climbing and like whatever. He used to be so salty about shit. The grouchy little bastard baby. Anyway. Oh, that's true. I shouldn't read this. If it's in his head, like, whatever, it's fine. Anyway. I'm the youngest child, so when I met Mary, I was happy because it felt like I had a younger sister. So getting turned down upset me. And of all people, the cause of my problems was Katerina Clays, the fiance of my twin brother, Jordo. And it's also like, I'm 9 and I'm inviting my fiance over. Like, it's royalty, and it's like, guess I have to fucking invite her over. Like, kid just wants to play with his dinosaurs, and he's gotta, like, fucking entertain a fiance. Back then, I'd been living my life feeling inferior to Jordo. No matter what I did, I couldn't win against him. So you can see why it bothers him that he can't win climbing trees against a girl. And it was always the calm, cool Jordo who would take things from me. Evaluations, fame, everything. Yeah, kind of interesting, though, that now you're gonna take Jordo's fiance. The woman that Jordo's in love with is gonna fall in love with you. Ooh, snap! That is one way to get back at your brother. Now his fiance, Katerina, is about to steal my Mary. Bet you anything this bastard Katerina Clays is seducing Mary. That's why she keeps rejecting me. It's so funny, she's seducing. What 9-year-old thinks this? I visited Katerina to confront her about it, but This is Katerina Clay's? The girl who had come through the door was different than what I had imagined. But you're also like thinking a little girl is seducing your little girl fiance. It's just so funny. She's Jordo's fiance, and Mary's been raving about her. I wondered what kind of beautiful girl she'd be, but the girl standing there wasn't ugly, but her eyes were narrow and looked rather harsh. Upon seeing her, I was slightly thrown off, but I brushed those thoughts aside and got straight to the point. He's like, she's not ugly, but like, she looks mad. She's basically normal. I know we're supposed... Okay, when he's speaking as Young, we'll give him a different voice, but like, when he's thinking in his head, about Mary Hunt, she's my fiancé now. Did you know that? Yes, I'm aware. If you're aware, then stop seducing her. I did say that in the anime, too. Seducing? What do you mean? Katerina's blue eyes grew wide upon hearing my accusation. Her lack of understanding annoyed me even more. Are you trying to play dumb? I invited her over, but she refused. She said she had plans with you. And when we're together, you're all she ever talks about. It's obvious that you're trying to seduce her. You know that this fucking 9-year-old has no idea what he's saying. I said it to her face, and Katerina's slanted eyes slanted even higher. Excuse me? That's a blatantly false accusation. What's false about it? You're trying to deceive my sweet, pure Mary. You just invited her at the wrong time. And whatever you talk to her about is boring. Any girl would accept the invitation of someone who appeals to her. You just have no appeal at all. She snapped back at me and I completely froze. No appeal? All these years, people talked behind my back, saying that Jordo was better than me, but to be told that to my face was a first. It was so uncalled for, I almost laughed. I've never been ridiculed to my face like this before. It was just a slip of the... You got guts, Katerina Clays. I'll accept that insult as a personal challenge. We will have a showdown. So ridiculously funny. And that's how Katerina Clays and I had a showdown, but... I had tree climbing contest. I stood dumbfounded looking at the tree that Katerina had taken me to. I did ask for a showdown. If we were men, we would have a sword duel, but my opponent was a woman. You're also 9! And that's why I allowed Katerina to decide on the content of our battle, but... Wouldn't you usually choose something like chess or a board game? But because I had my pride as a man, when Katerina asked, "Can you not climb a tree?" I instinctively answered, "I'll take you on." As a result, I found myself standing in front of a big tree in the Clay's yard next to Katerina. Never climbed a tree before. What kind of 9-year-old boy are you? I know you're like a noble child, but like, everybody's attempted to climb a tree once in their life. Even if you're like, nope, I can't do it, you've attempted. You know what I mean? But a race to the top is an easy way to have a clear winner. So we began our showdown. But I don't even think he can get up the tree at all. I lost horribly. What the heck was that? Why is the daughter of a duke so good at climbing trees? Why did a girl from such a prestigious household decide to climb a tree? I was confused as I watched Katerina climb to the top like a monkey. Then, I heard Katerina's voice from up top. Prince Alan, I think I've won. Are we done now? I demand a rematch. I'm just not used to this because I've never done it before. This is how my tree climbing competition with Katerina began. No matter how many times I challenged her, she moved up the tree like a monkey. I could never defeat her. However, even though I kept losing, Katerina always gave me her best. She never went easy on me just because I was a prince. She always looked at me straight in the eyes. And before I knew it, I was starting to look forward to seeing Katerina. And back then I held a grudge against Jordo, my twin brother, who never paid attention to me. I didn't want to lose to Jordo. but I couldn't do anything to beat him. That feeling never left me. I have no special skills. Jordo took all the good traits. Just leftover scrap. That's how I felt. When Jordo and Katerina praise my piano skills, I snap back with, "You don't really think that. You can drop the stupid flattery." But that's when Katerina said to me, I think it's more about what you are and aren't. I think it's more about what you are and aren't suited for. Even Jordo has things he can't do. I realized she was right. Thanks to Katerina, I realized there were things even Jordo couldn't handle. He can't handle Katerina, he can't handle snakes, and he doesn't play piano as good as you. I assumed my older twin brother was invincible, but of course he wasn't. I can't believe I ignored something so obvious. I doubt she knows how much her words impacted me. She even says herself she doesn't possess any useful skills. But I disagree. It's true that Katerina's lacking in her studies and magic, but at least in my eyes, she saved my heart. I've fallen for her. We are good at saving people's hearts. And we avoided the doom flag, so we are good at giving people faith in themselves. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. Yeah, pretty much fucking everyone does. My twin brother, who's Katerina's fiancé, is one of them. He's head over heels for Katerina and can't stay calm when anything involves her. It's wrong for me to develop feelings for my brother's fiancé. That's why I'm just happy to be by her side. I don't have to confess my feelings to her. So long as I can see her smile. Oh, you're just like gonna pine away forever. It's adorable. And it hurts. It hurts in all the routes because you're like, no, but we're hurting you because I know you're pining away from me. But like, it's easy to ignore them when you haven't gone down the routes. But afterward, you're like, oh, I kind of feel bad for Jordo a little bit, and I kind of feel bad for Keith now, and like. But at the very least, I'd like to have Katerina to myself in this moment. I enjoy that thought as I continue to play the piano. I think we're still him because it's purple on the side. Eventually, the song comes to an end, and I take my hands off the piano keys. If I read that sentence, it would have indicated absolutely. Immediately, Katerina claps. Her eyes are glimmering. I feel another pang in my heart. This is how she always is. Just truly honest with her feelings. She's so carefree and honest. I sometimes feel like it's not an appropriate demeanor for a noble lady. But another part of me never wants her to change. I want to continue to see her carefree expression, preferably forever. Yeah, while she's married to your brother. I feel guilty about my feelings toward my twin brother's fiancée as I look at her clapping for me. And the fact that, when you're married to Mary, you're just going to be pretending she's me the whole time. That's okay. Mary's going to be pretending you're me as well. So, like, a little weird on both fronts, but whatever works for you guys. You're amazing, Prince Alan. It truly was amazing. After the song ends, I clap with all my might, and that makes Alan blush just a little. Right. I feel like I've heard this song before. Where have I heard this? Forget about it. I just felt nostalgic and played it. Huh. What does he mean by that? I tilt my head in confusion as Alan gets up from his seat, because later we'll remember. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's head back to the party. I'm sure it's not okay for us to be here until the party ends. Oh, right. He's right. I'm sure the others are worried by now. Alan and I both get up and start to leave the gallery lounge. Just then, pirates. Hi, you getting fidgety. Ooh, Alan's route. Here we go. I love you, buddy, but you're fidgety. Escape at sea. No. Whoa! What's going on? The ship jolts suddenly. Startled, Alan and I look at one another. I wonder what that was. Do you think we bumped into something? Well, good God, I hope it's not an iceberg. We don't need a pirates and the Titanic going on here. This isn't good. Worst case, the ship may sink. Sink? I remember a movie from my previous life where a cruise ship collides into an iceberg and sinks. I like how they mentioned, like, where a cruise ship hits an iceberg instead of being like, I remember the Titanic. Like, I like the fact that maybe they can't, like, probably use Titanic the movie, but, like, the Titanic was an actual ship that exists, so it's like, you could mention it. I feel like there's no copyright on mentioning, like, Titanic the movie? Sure, but not, like, I remember the Titanic and go, well, fuck. But, like, I feel like that's a thing that everybody knows about. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's really only pertinent because it's like you between like America and Europe type of a thing. Because it's like maybe like people in Japan are like, yeah, we've heard of the Titanic, but it's not really pertinent. Or maybe there's people in other countries who are like, the what now? That doesn't pertain to us. Because I mean, to be fair, did we ever learn about major shipwrecks that happened on like, you know, vessels from like Asian vessels or anything like that? Probably not. I'm sure there's been like pirate attacks and ships sinking left and right. We don't know about them. We know about the Titanic not because of the movie, but because we were taught that shit because it was pertinent in U.S. history. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know about every war that goes on in every other country. So, okay, maybe not. But like, but it's just funny when you're like, when you get things like this and you're like, you just say the Titanic? I guess not, because there might be people that do not know what the Titanic was and be like, huh? And it'd be confusing. Okay. Valid. I mean, I suppose it'd be the same thing if they were like going through like Japanese history or something. You'd be like, I don't get this. Strange thought. I mean, the thought of like Titanic being like, if you take the movie out, like there are people who don't know what it is. But valid, because there are people that actually don't realize that the movie was based off a real event, and they don't get that because people are stupid. So people like American people that should know that the Titanic was a real fucking boat that really fucking sank, and the movie was based on that horrible tragedy. You know, like, so there are people that don't know that in America. So I guess I can't. Okay, so that was. But anyway. I do think it's funny, though. Not the Titanic. You get what I mean. Anyway. She's like, fuck. I also remember watching that, like, Book of Atlantic and Black Butler. Which, you know, it wasn't the air quotes around Titanic, but it was basically Titanic. This isn't good at all. Let's just focus on finding Jordan and the others. And they should be in the party room. I know, Bird. Some spam caller is calling me, I'm sure. And, like, really annoying because, like, my phone won't just hang up on them and it's just ringing off the hook. Oh, anyway. Sorry, buddy. Okay. We're gonna go find them. I'm gonna stop here. Because it's a little past my lunch break, so I gotta go back to work. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.